Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Midcard Mess Podcast. It is I, not one, not two, but all three faces of Jamal, and this is your wrestling news. Yeah, man, we have a lot to cover today. Obviously, I had a bit of backtrack because we had the Royal Rumble. I'm still recovering from freaking Jey Uso, Charlotte Flair, and Cody Rhodes winning their respective matches out in the Royal Rumble and everything like that. So, oh man, Jey Uso winning the Royal Rumble was incredible, was it not? I'm not even a guy that does the yeet. You can ask my sister Annalise. Like, nah, like, I don't even be yeeting like that. But for this instance, this deserves a yeet. So, yeet. All right. So enough with the yeeting and stuff like that. We also had other things that happened besides the Royal Rumble. I know it's kind of like, oh, why are we going to talk about it? Well, because it's pro fucking wrestling, and I love that shit, okay? We got CMLL that happened. We got AEW Collision with the Mid-South Street Fight, whatever the hell that is. And Daniel Garcia defended the TNT Championship. So, I have both the results for both nights of Chris Jericho's Rock and Wrestling Cruise results. And REV Pro did something, London 92, which is their 92nd show. And, again, like, yeah. So, we're going to start off with some AEW Collision. FTR collided with the Death Riders. The Death Riders represented by Jon Moxley and Wheeler Yuta. Lee Moriarty and Daniel Garcia defended the title against Lee Moriarty and Kyle O'Reilly in a triple threat, and then freaking FTR was facing the Death Riders as I mentioned. Samoa Joe and Hook defeated the Patriarchy, which is Nick Wayne and Kip Sabian with Christian Cage, and after the match, the Patriarchy attacked Samoa Joe and Hook after the match. Cope then cut a promo where he called out Jon Moxley for the AEW World Championship at AEW Revolution. Is that going to happen? Maybe, maybe not, but it's more leaning towards that it's going to happen. Do I want to see Cope with the gold? Not really, but, Jon Moxley out here doing God's work when it comes to toughening up the AEW locker room. I think Adam Copeland wants to do the same, but, as I mentioned, I'm not saying nothing about anybody's age, but you're fucking old as fuck, bro. Like, you're done. You packed up. But the difference is like Copeland is not no damn Jeff Jarrett, right? You're not seeing the Rock and Roll Express out here versus like the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks are pretty old themselves, but they, are no Rock and Roll Express type shit. So. Oh, excuse me. I'm really exhausted. I really had a time, but hey, this got to get done. The Beast Mortos defeated Adam Priest. Oh my God. If you don't know about the Beast Mortos, like, that man is exactly what he says he is he's a beast. He wrestles predominantly in AEW now, but when he used to wrestle in TNA as Black Taurus and freaking when he used to wrestle in CMLL as Black Taurus, that was pretty sick too. Max Caster interrupted to say that he would want to accept see who wanted to accept the open challenge, and then Roosh answered the call. So Max Caster was handled by fucking Los Ingobernables, original Roosh, and Roosh then scolded Beast Mortals for his participation in the Continental Classic, saying why they gotta prove that they're the baddest men in Mexico. So basically, like, La Facción Ingobernables is gonna try to take over AEW at some point. The Learning Tree, whatever that is, Chris Jericho and Brian Keith, the Bad Apple Brian Keith with Big Bill in the back, defeated the Outrunners, Turbo Floyd and Truth Magnum, and the Learning Tree tried to lay out the Outrunners, but Bandito, none other than Bandito, made the save. I'm glad to see Bandito. It's been quite some time. Hopefully they'll do something with him in AEW. Then we see Lexi Nair interviewing Kazuchika Okada, the AEW Continental Champion, but he was interrupted by Buddy Matthews. And Buddy Matthews now issued another challenge for the title, but Okada rejected the offer. Then Matthews said Okada was still a bitch, and they're gonna build it up. They gotta build it up for a little bit. Buddy Matthews facing Okada would be nice again to see. That there was a little video package of Kyle Fletcher, who challenged Mark Briscoe to a match at next week's Collision. So next Saturday is going to be Mark Briscoe versus Kyle Fletcher. Taya Valkyrie lost to Harley Cameron. And basically Harley Cameron's building up her case to face Mercedes Moné for her TBS championship. Then we see a sit-down interview with Ricochet. But Swerve interrupted that interview, and Strickland basically told Ricochet not to expect a showcase match, that he would, he would beat the shit out of him, basically. But Ricochet said he felt no threat, and, grabbed Ricochet's scissors and pointed them at Ricochet and said he'll see him in Atlanta type shit. So that match is going to be a fucking, I don't want to say it's going to be a classic, but no, I mean, it's not going to be no damn classic, but they're going to beat the shit out of each other in Atlanta, so, and this is going to go crazy. Timeless Toni Storm then addressed the crowd, where she acknowledged that she lost herself, and then she realized the only way out was to rebuild and from the ground up. But now that she realized Mariah May was a fraud, and that she'll basically take the AEW Women's Championship from her. Harley Cameron was then interviewed by Renee Paquette, but then Mercedes Moné fucking basically told her, you're not ready for the big time. Feel me? TNT Championship is a 3-way match between Daniel Garcia, Lee Moriarty, who is the Ring of Honor television champion, and Kyle O'Reilly. Shane Taylor Promotions basically, was represented here. Daniel Garcia ended up winning this match, and it was a good little triple threat match. That would be one of the matches that I would like people to watch. If you are going to watch this back, this would be the match I'd watch. But at the end of the match, Shane Taylor Promotions surrounded Matt Maynard and Angela Parker, who with Daniel Garcia and Kyle O'Reilly after the match. But then freaking Undisputed Kingdom, Adam Cole and Roderick Strong made the save. So at some point, the STP and Undisputed Kingdom got to get active, and at some point, freaking Daniel Garcia, Matt Maynard, and Angelo Parker got to get back active. There was a little vignette after the match where Penelope Ford and Thunder Rosa is going to be scheduled for next week. Then Hologram is going to make his return next week. Megan Bayne, newest AEW signee. I'm very very familiar with her work out in the UK scene and also the Japanese scene and stuff like that. She defeats her opponent Hannah Herrera, and then freaking Leo Rush and Action Andretti cut a promo from Los Angeles saying that they will be back to make Top Flight's challenge sooner than later. So Action Andretti was part of Top Flight for a little bit, but with the inclusion of Leo Rush, then they just started, they betrayed them. But Top Flight keeps fucking interrupting in Action Andretti and Leo Rush's match, especially the tag title match that they had with Private Party prior to Private Party losing the tag titles to the Hurt Business. So, then Queen Aminata called out Toni Storm on the February 5th edition of AEW Dynamite. So next week or this week coming up on AEW Dynamite, we're going to probably see Toni Storm versus Queen Aminata. And then Lexi Nair interviewed Chris Statlander and Willow Nightingale, where Statlander wanted to reunite with Willow, but Willow's not kind of jacking it, so she's just she's just going to need some time. And now we have the main event, which was FTR, Dax Harwood, and Cash Wheeler versus the Death Riders and Jon Moxley and Wheeler Yuta. The FTR wins this match, but Jon Moxley with the skin of his teeth getting out of there, packing them up, and that's going to be AEW Collision. A lot of people did not really see or really care about Collision on this Saturday because obviously the Royal Rumble was taking the most precedent in the wrestling world today. So, like, that's going to be it for the AEW Collision side of things. There was some CMLL action going on where Templaro, Sky Team, and Colonial Fantasma they had like a 6-man tag, so that was pretty sick. And then REV Pro had their 90-second event out in London, which featured TNA star Leon Slater, and the main event of the show was Zoe Lucas and Sapphire Reed. But let's get into what actually happened at REV Pro. So Robbie X, who I'm a big fan of, defeated Kuro. Yeah, man, this match was like out the gate fucking fantastic. Kanji ended up defeating LA Taylor. I'm not a fan of LA Taylor, so it was okay. Like Kanji beating LA Taylor there. Leon Slater defeated Leon Cage, so it was Slater versus Cage, and Slater obviously gonna get the victory because he's on TV, got the TV time. Stephen Wolf ended up defeating Will Cavan. The One Called Manders, who I've been a fan of since going to Bridge City Slam Foe. I know that he defeated Iker Navarro. He's doing some amazing work out in the UK right now. He's been on a tear. He's been on a tear lately. So the Young Guns, Ethan Allen and Luke Jacobs, defeated Barcelona Blacklist, which is Joe Torres and Cito Sanchez. Like, it was a hell of a match, but in the end, the Young Guns defeated the BB, the Blacklist, the Barcelona Blacklist, and then at the end, Zoe Lucas defeated Sapphire Reed in a thriller. Actually, you know what I'm saying? These two women actually put on a show. So, let's give you the results of Chris Jericho's cruise, his Rockin' Wrestling cruise. I'm going to give you both nights. So one happened on the 31st, which was Friday, and then the other one, which happened on Saturday. So the results for the Friday show, which again, nobody gave a shit about because it's Friday Night SmackDown, the go-ho show for the Royal Rumble, but let's just cover it real quick. Jay Lethal ends up defeating Mason Madden, which is Masai, for those that don't know. Yuka Sasaki defeats Viva Van. And, the Magical Girl defeats Viva Van here. Not a good way to start for Viva Van joining the AEW roster. It's kind of like, I joined the roster before somebody like Megan Bayne, and Megan Bayne is winning more matches. Like, I don't understand. But, sometimes you just got to let it cook. The Masked Brother defeated Serpentico. Konosuke Takeshita and Tommy Billington had a fantastic match, but, Konosuke is just on a tear, so he beat him. Nyla Rose defeated Lady Frost. The Outrunners defeated the Grizzled Young Veterans, soon to be recognized as the biggest losers in AEW. And I'm tired of seeing the Grizzled Young Veterans get smoked and shafted in every promotion that they've been in. Like, what the fuck? They are a great tag team. They're like the British version of what FTR should be. But, man, it sucks. It sucks seeing them fucking lose all the time. I mean, the Outrunners are good, but the Grizzled Young Veterans are better, and just to see them lose to them niggas is like, nah, I'm not jacking it. Tony Storm reunited with Luther, so we're gonna get some Luther action going on. She defeated Alex Windsor on this boat, and the highlight of the match basically was Tony Storm wrestling for the first time as Timeless Tony Storm. And also bringing Luther back and everything like that. Will Ospreay defeats Mansoor, which is, Mansoor from freaking, when he was doing Maximum Male Models. And that was the main event of night one. So night two had other great matches on the card. You had Brian Keith defeating Mansoor, Big Bill defeating Mason Madden, and that's basically the Learning Tree beating MXM. Harley Cameron defeats Billy Starks, and Billy Starks' momentum in wrestling right now has been kind of slow, but I'm happy for her still. But Harley Cameron building her case to face Mercedes Moné for the TBS Championship. She's just trying to build her case. Nick Wayne ended up defeating Serpentico, so Serpentico on a boat just loses all the fucking time. Daniel Garcia defended his championship against the franchise Jay Lethal. Jay Lethal's getting up there in age too, man. Like, he's just not moving the same. Mark Briscoe defeats Dutch from the Righteous. Bandito and the Outrunners defeats EJ Duca and Grizzled Young Veterans. And as I said before, like, I'm tired of seeing one of the greatest tag teams out there in the world just keep losing, and it doesn't make no sense. It just doesn't. Curryman defeated the Masked Brother. Thunder Rosa defeats Lady Frost, so Lady Frost just goes on the boat for 2 days just to go lose. There was a Jericho Cruise Oceanic title #1 contendership tournament, which featured Mo Jabari and the real one, which is Enzo Amore, for those that don't know. But Mo Jabari defeats Enzo Amore there. Tom Billington versus Elijah, who used to be Elias. So he beats him there, and then Mo Jabari and Tom Billington end up having the fight later on. Nyla Rose defeats Viva Van, making Nyla Rose the big boat, and then freaking Viva Van losing on a boat 2 days in a row. Commander and Will Ospreay versus the Don Callis family, which is Konosuke Takeshita and freaking Lance Archer. And they ended up winning this match by the skin of their teeth, but they ended up winning. And the CCW Heavyweight Championship match was Meto defeating Maximus Khan by disqualification. So, it is what it is. It was just a nice little cruise on the boat. And yeah, that's all I have for wrestling results. Now, as opposed to wrestling news out there, right? We got Jey Uso winning the Royal Rumble. We got Mariah May doing the damn thing as the AEW Women's Champion. There's a lot of talk of Drew McIntyre actually being really pissed off with the company right now with WWE, and also we got New Japan coming up. Jeff Cobb and ELP is going to go against each other for that television championship. Plus, and then we got Zack Sabre Jr. versus Hiroki Goto coming on later on in the month. So, all right, I know that this was brief and this was kind of short, but that was your wrestling news. Now that the wrestling news is over, I can get into what I'm doing for my wrestling training and how my first 2 days of wrestling training was going. So, without giving too much away, it challenged me, right? And I haven't been challenged in such a long time that we're talking since 2018, maybe even further than that. I think we're talking 2013, 2014 that I've really been pushed, my body been pushed to its limits or challenging myself. So I instantly knew that I was not in the shape that I should be in. But I pushed through to finish the exercise, to finish the workouts there. I know that I probably have to get stronger. Not probably, I do. I absolutely do have to get stronger. So, yeah, the physical is it's exactly what it is. It's the physical. I'm just building up the callus now to, get into. I'm not ready for the ring yet, but just getting my body ready for what is coming, because I have not taken not one bump yet. When I do take that bump, y'all be the first to know. I'm telling you. Yeah, man, so there's more to this wrestling than just the moves type stuff, right? We want to talk about building stories, and I'm just trying to figure out my character work, whatever character, like, I'm Three Faces of Jamal, for crying out loud. Like, I have Little Boy Blue, I have Pills, I have Boogie, but that's probably not gonna cut the mustard in the wrestling world. I mean, in the music world it could, because, like, when I rap or when I do my music, then it's depending on what I'm talking about is the face that you'll be faced with. But as opposed to Three Faces of Jamal, am I just gonna be Three Faces of Jamal that controls my guys, or is it like I'm some type of schizophrenic madman that doesn't know, like, we don't know what's going on? So I'll have to figure out how that all plays through. And just trying to figure out gear, trying to figure out what I want to do, what kind of finishing moves I want to have, what kind of, like, not even like the finishing moves, just basic moves. I'm talking finishing moves, like I got everything set. Like, it's so much easier doing it on fucking like WWE 2K or fucking Create Your Wrestler, and there's like 1,000 moves that you could just look at and be like, oh, I like this move. But you have to be able to do it on everyone type shit. So I'm just working on building that character and trying to figure out a backstory and stuff like that. Trying to be a sponge, trying to absorb everything that anyone is ever going to teach me, so that way I can be better usage. Like, what I'm saying? Like, ever since that first seminar, and I was very lucky to have Kurt Angle be the seminar that I was attending, because he, like, more than like wrestling, because he didn't show us anything except for he took a back bump on a chair that broke on him, whatever not. But the only thing is, the things that he told us, what it takes to succeed, especially, like, with him not really knowing the business type stuff at the time that he started, because he had one of the greatest rookie years of all time, like, if we really think back to it and stuff like that. So yeah, man, like, I'm just trying to soak in every bit of information that is available to me. Trying to be coachable, trying to just, instead of taking like critique as a bad thing, like, just take it as a good thing. Okay, everything that I can do, everything that I'm good at, I can get better. Anything that I suck at, I can only get better. So, like, keeping that mindset, staying in a humble mind frame, because, this is, not everybody gets to do this, and not everybody wants to do this. I want both. Like, what I'm saying? I'm getting to do it, and I want to do this, and I want to succeed. And for me, like, everyone wants to be like the star or have the big matches, put butts in seats and everything like that. I, for one, especially with my first year or my first steps of this journey of that I'm taking, am just happy to be here, and I cannot wait for, like, my progression in this journey, see how far I can take it. And yeah, that's what I got to say about training. I got to go make sure that I'm going to be one of the first people there today. I'm trying to learn how to build the ring correctly, properly. I know that we broke down the ring last time, so now it's time to build that thing back up. And just with repetition comes habit, and with habit comes, like, it is what it is. All right, guys. Thank you for listening. Everybody that does listen to this, like, share, subscribe, please. I appreciate everything, all the gratitude, everybody that has supported me from the offset of this, supported me in the Mid-Card Mess podcast group, the Mid-Card Mess group itself. Yeah, this journey is going to be incredible. Like, my pro wrestling journey is going to be incredible, and I'm just trying to not let the homies down, not let the family down, not let me down. I'm not going to let me down at the end of the day. So, thank you. I'll see you guys on the next one. We were going to talk Monday Night Raw tonight. We're going to see Jey Uso deciding who's he going to face at WrestleMania. Maybe we might see Charlotte Flair decide who she's going to face at WrestleMania. Got options. We got options over here. So, yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one, and that's it for me. Peace.